All right, so how do you build your sales organization? We talk a lot about selling, educating people on your products. First of all, like you got to love your product, and then how do you talk to people about your product? How do you make sure that you're talking to people that actually want your product? I love need-based sales. That's why life insurance is need-based sales. When I was in real estate, no matter what people want to say, it is a need. For that person, it's a need. They may not need to sell the condo they're in or to move out of their apartment. They decided they're going to. So now they need a place to live. So when you're in the sales industry, you have to learn, how do I build an organization? Number one, well, before we get there, what do you stand for? Who are you? What's your organization look like? Why are you doing what you're doing? Who are you looking for? Who's a good fit for your sales organization? Who is not a good fit for your sales organization? How in the world are you going to help people? Like, what structure will you provide if they join your sales organization? But the most important thing you have to be able to talk about is you. Why should I join you? When I got into real estate, life insurance, everything I got into and built sales organizations, I was very upfront and honest about the fact that if you were going to join me, you need to understand there were three things about me that I believe I provided better than everybody else. I think all of us can find things that we provide because we're all different people, right? If we all pick the exact same things, then we can't, that's not possible, right? There's things you're better at than me and vice versa. My number one thing was I knew I would outwork my peers, and I did. I was willing to put in more hours, make more dials, drive more hours. So I said, nobody will outwork me in this business. Nobody. Number two, I understand the business, understand the psychology of clients and of the sales presentation, understand who the leads are and who they're not. And I understand this business so well that I can teach that part to you, that I 100% can teach it to you. And number three, I'm doing this because I want to build a big organization to get as many people life insurance, real estate, whatever you're doing, if you're in solar, pest control, I wanted to help people change their lives. So I wanted them to win as much as they wanted to win. And it means I was building it from a selfless position. I wasn't building it based on dollar bills because that actually never works. Like, it'll never work when that happens. So it's getting people to understand those concepts and getting people to understand that at the end of the day, if you're building a sales organization, you know who you are. And what's your mission statement? I sometimes don't even know what that means. Like, who are you? What do you stand for? Who are you looking for? Who are you not looking for? What do you provide me? And then what about you? And then how are you going to do your recruiting? Are you going to do a cold market, warm market? You should do both. People say to me, what's better, quality or quantity? Well, first of all, the insurance industry for me made a lot of sense. I was like, it's the highest regulated industry I've ever been in. Do the right thing. If you're going to do the right thing, I'm willing to work with you. If you're not, I'm not. It's not that complicated. Do the right thing, I'll work with you. You're not, I'm not going to work with you. Also, I've said this since I got in sales when I was in my 20s. I wanted to build relationships with clients where when I ran into them, bumped into them, saw them in passing, they heard my name, I wanted them to say, that's Sean, that's my insurance guy, my real estate guy, my mortgage guy, that's the guy, it's my property management guy. Like, he's been good to us in business. Hasn't always been perfect, but he's a good dude. You can trust him. He's a straight shooter. So as you're building that organization, you should be working really hard to cultivate your warm market of business. As you're also getting on social media, which is the craziest marketing tool I've ever seen in my life. If you had ever told me 20 years ago, 30 years ago, Sean, you'll build your business and have access to literally millions of people by opening up an app, posting things, message people whenever you want, finding and searching people in your industry, finding and searching people in your previous industry, and that you could reach out to 20, 30, 40, 50, 200 people a day, send them a message like, hey, I see we're in the same industry. Looks like you're doing pretty well, would love to connect. And typically what those people are going to do is call you and try to recruit you. Well, if what you've put together is you think if it's the best option and the best model, that don't matter to you. You'll hear them out and you'll be able to then say to them, here's what I have over here. I joined this company. It's been really good to me, and here are the 12 reasons why. So, there's a lot of people that start to build a business, but the problem is, like, when they're in sales, like if I go, here's a listing and you sell the house in 9 weeks, and then you get paid a month later, you see it. You know, there's a return on your investment relatively quickly. You sell a life insurance policy, you'll be paid in a day or two. When you recruit a person, when you try to build a business and you recruit somebody who doesn't even have a license to do what you do, there's no instant gratification. That's what I love about it, is that whole grind. Helping people get through that grind, helping them get to where they want to get to. Like, that's not complicated, man. And I think that for me, that's what drives me. You know, the more new people I talk to about our business opportunity, the better off we're going to be. And I unequivocally know that. So many people get enamored with the sale. I mean, dude, I love sales. Is how I made money. Sales was the best job I ever had. But as I was selling, I was thinking, why can't I build a business to do exactly what these folks I'm selling for are doing? I can do that. Why are they the only ones who can build an agency? And whatever product you're selling, what you should be asking is, what's next for me? Like, where can I take this? What can I get from me and my family? How does this work? Are there bonuses? Is there equity? Can I build my own deal? Can I make my own passive income? And you need to be selling that all day, every day. And you have to be the business. You know, when you're in business, you need to be in business. And I know it sounds crazy, like, obviously you don't know. There are a lot of people that have businesses and they're not in their business. I'm in my business all the time. I see somebody I think makes sense to join my business team, I recruit them. I don't care where I'm at, what I'm doing, who they are, what they're doing. If I think that guy or girl might be looking to make some extra money outside of what they're currently doing now, I will recruit that person. Why would I not? Seems like a really simple deal to recruit them. So I think as long as you start to understand all that, you really need to be thinking about that on a daily basis. Your sales have to come first, anything else you're doing, because that's how you eat. If you're selling cars, but you want to build a waste management company, you're selling pest control, but you're like, man, I could be a good psychiatrist. Like, you have to take the cash from your sales to then fund whatever your new business venture is, or your business on a daily basis, and build an agency. And also, you have to have an undying belief in you. Where most people, you know, when you walk into a room, and people always say this like they understand it, you can never get back to first impression. That's whether you open your mouth or not. Like, if I walk up to you and shake your hand and you can't make eye contact with me, or you back down when I'm looking at you, I probably don't want to be in business with you. And a lot of times that's people's lack of belief. They don't have a good belief in themselves. So for you, it's like, how do you build that undying belief in yourself? Because the magic to the sales organizations, the agencies we're building, are taking a lot of people who have already been knocked down a little bit in life, and they've started to question their ability. I don't know if I can do this. You sit down with somebody, present your opportunity to them. What you do is start asking them, what do you think? And a lot of times the honest people go, I don't know if I can do this. See, when I started looking at opportunities, I always said, I hope they're telling me the truth, not I hope I can do it. I hope what they're telling me is real. I hope what they're telling me is accurate. I hope what they're telling me actually makes sense. Because at the end of the day, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's the belief level you have to develop in yourself. I developed that in myself. I've had it for a long time. So when I started working with you, it was like, all right, dude, like, I already have it. Do you want it? Good. Follow me and watch what I'm doing so I can show you how to get to where I am. It's not complicated. It's easy. But I think it's getting people to understand that dynamic and that process, because at the end of the day, that's all this thing's about. And then as you structure your agency, you know, the problem is a lot of people want to be in business when they feel like being in business. And it's like, dude, business don't work that way. Like, at the beginning, as you're building anything, agency, sales organization, you're a new supervisor or manager, you have a job, but now you're managing a bunch of salespeople or a bunch of service people. The beginning is going to be a lot of work. You don't know what you're doing yet. You don't know your players yet. It's going to be a lot of work at work and outside of work. So you're going to think about a lot of outside. You're going to think about your work outside of work a lot. I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, to get to where you want to get to, sometimes you got to go through hell. It will be a pain in the ass. It will be a serious grind, but you have to understand why you're building it. And then anytime it gets really bad and you're like, dude, this really sucks, you have to fast forward to, why am I doing this? So my idea was, I have kids to take care of, family to take care of, responsibilities, bills. I'm going to keep pushing this. Like, I know I'm going to keep pushing this thing. Like, unequivocally, that's what I'm going to do. And I think that without that North Star guiding you, or your why, and that's part of your deal when you bring people on. What am I looking for when I bring people on? People that are accountable and appreciative. Those two A's. Accountable, appreciative. How do I test that? I talk to them on the phone. I do things for them I don't necessarily need to do. Like, hey man, I had some extra leads over here. I sent them to you. Hey man, I made a call to a guy in your area. He's got an office you can use. Like, I do things that I don't have to do. I do them anyway because I want to help, but I'm very interested in their reaction. And I wait. And I'm always saddened, but then I know where I stand with somebody that's like, oh, cool. Oh, cool what? Like, and then typically what I'll say is, oh, cool, got it. Do you mean thank you? And I wait. And what even becomes more apparent is the ones who are like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, dude. If you do something for me you don't have to do, hold the door, pick up a pen, get me a 2-piece chicken McNugget, I say thank you. I just handed you something that cost me money or cost me a chip in a relationship with somebody where I'm like, hey, dude, can you let them do this? And your answer was, oh, cool. Like, you're entitled. I'll empower you, not entitled. So, I mean, I think you have to do that with people. Start watching when they call you, when they text you. If somebody texts you don't know and says, call me, that person's an asshole. If you don't know somebody, like you don't have like a good relationship with them, it's not like it's your buddy, your brother, you're in a relationship. No, that's different. I hire you, know you, I don't care if I know you for a month or for 2 years. If we're not friendly, message, call me. Fuck you. That's my response. Sorry, it's a better response, right? There's a better Wharton School of Business response. My response is F you in my head. And then I respond back and go, why are you telling me what to do? I don't talk to you that way. Question mark. Now, if the guy can't handle it, he gets frustrated, move on. You don't want those kind of people working for you and with you because they're going to be a lot of freaking work. A lot. And when I'm asking about their past leading into what we're doing here, whatever I hire them to do, I ask them to walk me through it. If they walk me through a story that breaks down the last 2 years of their life, or the last 20 years of their lives, the last 40 years of their life, and every time, I'll go like, why did you leave there and get there? And how'd you end up doing that as opposed to that? If there's not one time in like, dude, I dropped the ball over here. I didn't put the work ethic and I shit over here. I wasn't really prepared. So when this happened, I ended up having to leave. It kind of sucked. I was in that industry and some things did change without a doubt, but also some other people did better than me because there are still people in that industry making money. When everybody tells me I worked at company A and they're awful, nobody makes money there. I'm like, dude, the doors are open. Somebody's making money over there. Now, if you say, I like these things you offer me better, I was making money over there, but I just found a better opportunity. And there's other opportunity when you're talking to me where you can prove your accountability. Can you imagine working with somebody for 3 months, then getting them out to do their job, and then they fail at it? And what do? They blame everybody but themselves. Leads suck, this sucks, a day a week sucks. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? But none of it's how do I get better? Because if you're bitter, you can't get better. Right? If you're negative, you can't really be appreciative. So the person that's not appreciative, it's not because I'm trying to teach them a lesson on manners. I know they're negative. Well, I don't want to, negative about everything. Not just about what we're doing here. They're negative in freaking general. So as you're looking to build your sales organizations, remember those things. Scream from the rooftops on social media about what you're doing and who you are. Build yourself a community of people that want to be in business with you. Don't ever stop recruiting. That's what makes you powerful. In sales, the more leads I got, the more calls I make, the better off I'm going to be. Literally. And in business, the more recruiting calls I make, the more recruits I bring on, the more deals I do, the better off I'm going to be. So if you take this advice, it will help you build a sales organization. We'll talk more about scaling it and continuing to build it and then identifying leaders in your group. And then how do you, because here's what all comes down to, guys, no matter what you're doing. You have to be able to sell the product you got. And then once you get good at selling it, you have to get good at teaching somebody to sell it. And then once you get good at teaching multiple people to sell it, you have to be able to teach multiple people to sell it. Once you've done that, now all of a sudden you got a real business. People come in the door and you don't have to be all things to all people. It will free you to build a very big and profitable organization. So I hope this helps. Please like, share, subscribe, send this to somebody in the business. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. But I do appreciate you getting on And please help us push this channel. We're just trying to give out free sales information that actually works. Like, I've been selling forever, and I've always had a lot of success no matter what I was selling, and the principles I've learned and just accumulated over the life of my sales career and paid for a lot of times. I'm willing to share them with you. And I think there's nothing worse than seeing somebody online that can't sell nothing, never sold nothing, never went out there and was grinding, but will preach to you about what you should buy from them just because of who they are, what car they may or may not have, if they have a cute little shtick when they're talking and doing something stupid, or they say something dumb, they have crazy haircut, they have a cigar, somehow that makes sense, they have a nice car they drive around in it. Like, dude, who gives a shit? Can they help you make a difference in your life? So that's what we're trying to do here. So we appreciate your support.